Welcome and thank you for joining us for Coffee with Hilary and Les, brought to you by State of Mind Hypnosis and Training Center, located in the heart of the Kawartha Lakes. This is our almost daily community podcast about the mind and how you might change it in the most simple and helpful ways. Every day we sit, staring at the lake and sipping our coffee, having a chat about hypnosis and how to make those meaningful adjustments to our state of mind. Because nothing is more important than your state of mind.
Okay.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
Say we're on.
We're on.
Okay, that's the way we'll start. From now on, you'll just say, we're on.
We're on.
Oh, good.
Today we're talking about tripping and falling on our faces.
Tripping and falling. It doesn't have to be so incredibly painful. Trip and fall. Stumble a bit. Make a little error along the way.
Is it an error? Error?
I don't know. I what's the right word? Do we talk about errors or mistakes? We talk about distractions, sidetracks. Yeah, that's what we got. We got sidetracked. We got sidetracked from doing our daily podcast. And now we're back. And so it's a good theme to talk about tripping and falling. Mm-hmm. And that tripping and falling is not the end of everything. That we had a nice little rhythm going on there. We had podcasts going daily. And the next thing we knew, we stopped.
That's right. We fell on our faces.
No, I don't think there was any face damage. I just think that there was a pause, and then that pause got prolonged because it then became a stressful issue. We should be doing this. We should be doing this. And then that just adds stress to the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And that causes us to stop.
Yeah.
And find it hard to restart.
Yeah. But we're starting now. I think it's a good time to start. Summer start.
Summer start.
We had a fall start, and now we have a summer start.
Yeah. Beginning of June, so we've really been gone a few months, but we're back. So the whole idea, I think, is a good one for all of us. I'll start it with, I raised some boys, and we were not into hockey. We were into skiing. And we got into the habit where they'd go and get a lesson in the morning, and I'd take a few runs, and I'd end up back in the chalet. And then they'd come in for their mandatory poutine. It was mandatory to have some poutine. And they were coming in for their poutine, and they'd find me sitting in the chalet, and we would have this routine where I would simply ask them, how many times did you fall? And, one would say, I fell 3 times. And I'd say, good for you. And I asked the next one, how many times did you fall? And he'd say, I fell 10 times. And I'd say, good for you. And then the next one, I'd say, how many times did you fall? And he'd say, I can't even count. I must have fell like 25 times. And I would say, that's fantastic. Because if you're not falling, it means you're not trying. You're not trying to take yourself out there to be the best you can be. You gotta take some risks. You gotta push yourself. And falling is a necessary part of growing. The problem isn't the falling. The problem is, whether or not you jump back up. And so it took us a few months to jump back up. We fell.
We drank a lot of coffee in the meantime.
And we had good conversations.
Yeah.
Sometimes we wished the microphone was on.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should just audio everything. Just always have a mic going.
Yeah, but then we'd find ourselves spending more time editing than we did recording.
Yeah, that's true.
But, the reframe. So a reframe for today is an old saying from a friend of mine. He used to say this all the time when we were teaching. He said, progress, not perfection. The goal here is progress, not perfection. Perfection is an ideal that sits out there on the horizon, and that there's nothing wrong with having a goal out there on the horizon, but on a day-to-day basis, it's progress. So we made progress today. We turned the computer back on. We plugged in a microphone, and although Hilary's sitting there, a little timid, we're back to doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we'll see if I can talk more than laughing. So.
So what are your thoughts today on this whole idea of tripping and falling?
Well, I definitely think about it in terms of things that I want to apply to my life, like working out or eating properly, treating myself well. I was thinking about times that I have treated myself well, and they're few and far between. When I do it on a daily basis, like I've created a routine. Not here and there I treat myself well, but not consistently. And so I want to apply that consistency to my life. Yeah, because I'm starting to think about the future, and I'm thinking, I want to be able to walk up the stairs when I'm 80 years old, without too much strain and
too much tripping and falling.
Too much tripping and falling, yeah, exactly. So I want to be healthy for that. So yeah, I think about applying things to my life in that way and making sure I'm consistent, but also not beating myself up for missing a day. I think that's where the issue is, we tend to beat ourselves up, and then we just don't do it the next day because we feel bad about yesterday, and it just carries on and on and on like that.
That's it exactly, is that we are so hard on ourselves. We don't know how to forgive ourselves. We think that I made a mistake and that means I can't do it, or I made a mistake and there's something wrong with me. One of those things we talk about all the time in our hypnosis is self-love is always. And we also talk a lot about, that little child. We refer to our little child all the time, because that's really the age is where we consolidate big beliefs, big ideas that are going to stay with us. And that little person that we once were can be incredibly judgmental. Yet, if we as an adult look at a little child, it's very easy to be forgiving. It's very easy to just be encouraging. And it's really that idea of self-love, where you say to yourself, self-love is always, all the time. I don't love people sometimes. When I love completely all the time. It makes it easy to forgive. And if I have self-love, then I can say to that young child who made the mistake and then couldn't get the guts to get back in the saddle, you're forgiven. Don't worry about it. I know you can do it. Just get started right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think, when it comes to self-love, I've been talking to clients about this. It's funny how things kind of come in waves of clients going through the same thing. But just talking with the clients about how, we look at every little baby, right? Brand new, fresh to the world, first day on earth. And we would never think that child is unlovable, right? But as we get older, we start to see this idea of us being unlovable or other people being unlovable. But it's really things that have been done to us, said to us as children that get in our way, and it's how it shapes our world, and it's not something to condemn ourselves with and think that we're unlovable because of bad things that have happened to us or have been said to us. We're no more how do I say it? I always get mixed up with the double negatives, but we're always lovable, right? We're lovable when we're born. We're lovable now, and so just I guess that's another reframe. But I've been talking a lot about that for some reason. It's come up a lot this week with clients.
Yeah, so forgiving others sometimes seems easier than forgiving ourselves. And that's what it took to finally turn the microphone back on, is it required a certain amount of forgiving of ourselves for not doing this. We had all the great intentions, and we had a pattern going on, and then somehow, life got away on us. We trip and fell. We trip and fall all the time. We tripped and fell. Got to get my grammar right. But we fell, and we're standing back up now, and we're taking steps forward. And we need to remind ourselves, I am always lovable.
Mm-hmm.
I am always forgivable. Forgiveness is truly an expression of love.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you've decided that you love more than you judge.
Yeah.
I love you more than I judge you. And it's really hard to say that to yourself because most of the time you're judging yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's our stuff today. If you can find that helpful, if you can take a moment and forgive yourself and consider progress, not perfection, you just need to get back on track a little bit, a little effort, no judgment about what you did or didn't do in the past, just moving forward from here. Hope that helps.
Mm-hmm.
So what are our events? What do we got going on?
Oh my gosh, we've got a lot going on this week. We've got tonight releasing unhealthy foods. This weekend we've got intuitive self-hypnosis. We met a wonderful woman, a local woman named Milana, and she's going to be a guest workshop person here using the space. Helping people kind of connect with their intuitive side, which is, I find really interesting. I took a couple of her workshops, and like a card reader, oracle card workshop, and an intuitive art workshop. And so she's going to be holding those kinds of things here. And I think another thing called an evening of awakening, where she's going to be taking people through just discovering the awakening process and, again, connecting to your higher self, to your intuitive side. And yeah, it's going to be really cool, I think.
Neat. No, it's I just love it when we tap into our higher selves, and the people who are able to do that with much more ease than I am, I admire greatly.
Yeah.
We don't want you to become reliant on us for learning how to change your mind. We want you to become really self-empowered and talented at addressing your own beliefs and thoughts and things that get in your way. And so we really try to include this. It's a really neat methodology, and of all the tools out there, it's probably my favorite. We still work at trying to develop our own self-hypnosis tools, but right now we're really behind this seventh path self-hypnosis. So we're also teaching it as a standalone for those people who are, there's lots of people out there who are a little bit afraid of sitting in a chair and just following instructions. It's a little bit intimidating. They know that they have a mind. They know that they are very much driven by their subconscious mind, yet they're not really prepared to just sit in a chair and see what happens. And so we teach also the seventh path as a standalone course, and we've sort of got one waiting to happen where we want to start one. So if you have any interest in that, pop us an email. And if it's something that you want to add to your existing hypnosis practice, if it's something that you might want to start with because it might seem a little less intimidating, just hop on the website, send us an email at info@somhypnosis.com. And we'll get that going. We're also having regular information nights. So essentially, there will be a Thursday night every month set aside. It's on the website. And anybody who's hearing about this hypnosis, or they're wondering about this hypnosis, and if you're listening to this podcast, you probably already know us. So, send it to your friends, let them know that we have these information nights, and they're no obligation, they're free. You just come in, we explain what hypnosis is. We play with a little bit of hypnosis while we're here. You're in and out of here in an hour and a half, and you'll have a much better understanding of what this stuff is about. And maybe you might find yourself interested in taking a journey meeting with us. Again, a free, no obligation, hour-long discussion about you, what you want to accomplish, and how hypnosis may or may not fit into that. Again, no pressure sales. We just want to work with people that want to work on their minds. Mm-hmm. So that stuff is coming up. Please keep an eye on the website for all of that.
The website's constantly being updated too, so.
And so, yeah, I think the last thing is we would answer questions at this part of the podcast. And so please, info@somhypnosis.com. If you hear this and you have any questions about hypnosis, just pop them in an email and we'll make them a part of our next podcast and answer your questions, because that's really what we want to do more than anything else, is answer your questions and do whatever we can to support you. We've been working on our vision and our mission. What do you think of that?
I like it. I've got it on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. To learn and teach how to use the mind for the highest good for ourselves and others. And just creating that supportive community of people actively engaged in their lives, knowing that the most important thing is their state of mind.
There it is. That's the hard part. It's the same as tripping and falling. It causes us not to be actively engaged in what's best for us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. We got to learn how to trip and fall.
Yeah.
And if you watch a little one, it's usually around the age of 1. If you watch a little one learn how to walk, there's lots of tripping and lots of falling. And eventually they become quite talented at it. Some of them even learn how to be very fast. Well, that's really it for me.
Yeah, I think that's good. It's a good start back into it. 20-minute audio. And yeah, I think that's good. Gets the ball rolling.
All right. Take care of your state of mind.
Yeah, I'll try.
We hope you enjoyed today's podcast and that maybe it helped, even a little. If you have any questions, we would love you to send them along in an email to info@somhypnosis.com. Thank you for being part of the State of Mind community. And for more information about hypnosis and the various online or in-person services we provide, please visit our website, www.somhypnosis.com. The link is in the notes below. While you're there, why don't you book a free 1-hour journey meeting with Hilary or Les to learn more about what hypnosis is and how you might use it to make your life what you want it to be. Bye for now.